10,000% chance Zack Snyder saw Crypto, rolled his eyes, and muttered, "What is this sissy crap?"
I think Zack Snyder sees Superman the same way that Lex Luthor does.
Snyder Cultists seeing a bright, hopeful, charismatic Superman in their screens.
Meet dancing on Snyder in Cell Graves.
How can fandom be toxic? It's about love.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
So recently, I took a look at the SnyderVerse and how it has devolved, with most of the fandom just leaving, and now with the very vocal minority slowly becoming the face of the whole thing. I intentionally left out several aspects of this online discourse, or shit-flinging is more accurate, because I feel the opposite side of the fence deserves their own video. So consider this a part 2, the other side of the coin. Bro, after I'm done with this, I'm not gonna have any allies left. So what am I talking about? Of course, looking at the title, you already know. We're looking at the rabid James Gunn fans that are just as obsessed and toxic as the Snyder Cultists they make fun of. How so, you might ask? Well, I will tell you, dear viewer. But before I get into this, I want to mention that, just like my Snyder fandom video, these are not the majority. These people are the more chronically online members of the fandom, and the most vocal. Of course, they don't represent everyone, but unfortunately, due to how vocal and active they are online, you'll definitely be seeing them a lot. But unlike the obsessed Snyder extremists, they're more spread out across the internet. They're not all concentrated into one subreddit. So how do you find them? Well, easy. Go to just about any post involving Superman or James Gunn, and you'll spot them. They spit as much toxicity as Snyder Cultists do, and will bring up Zack Snyder unprompted to talk about how much better James Gunn is. I mean, check this out. I saw on Instagram and Threads, and I just started scrolling, and before you know it, there they are. The big hallmark or staple of these fanatics is that they can't just be excited about the new Superman. No, they have to express how much they hate the Snyder version to prop up the new movie that's coming out. At first, I kind of get it. You're comparing the old version to the new version. It's only natural. But it's to the point that it's just obnoxious. And it's really just a reason to badmouth Snyder and his fans. What makes this worse is that if someone has some valid criticisms about the movie, they're labeled as a Snyder fan regardless if they mentioned him or not. And if someone dislikes it, then they're just whiny Snyder fans who don't read comics. And several of these people will go underneath a post about new Superman movie and just find a way to mention Snyder and his fandom. They'll look at an article, an interview, a clip, whatever it is, and just find a way to tie it back to Snyder. Or hell, they'll just do it unprovoked and unprompted, just making post after post of unnecessary comparisons. Wait, hold up, pause the video. I recognize this guy. Yeah, he was all over the Snyder Cut movement a few years back. He would talk about every piece of news and update about it, scenes, moments, interviews, everything. It looks like he completely switched sides since that well dried up. And now he speaks out against Snyder? Really? Hell, he was riding Snyder harder than me back then. Somebody else even pointed this out in one of his own posts. And people say I switched up. Yeah, alright.
That word don't mean shit around here.
Anyway, back on topic. If someone is saying this version sucks and Snyder is better, then I think it's fair game. But this happens under posts that have nothing to do with Snyder. Could just be an update or interview or a clip just about the movie, and these guys will start just losing their shit in the comments. It's to the point that they come across just as obsessed with Snyder as the people they're making fun of. This meme has never been more true, honestly. What makes this even more sad is that they basically dogpile and insult people for not being as excited as they are. Instead, they just label them a butthurt Snyder fan and tell them to cope and move on.
Bro, please, let it go!
Bro, who actually finds these skits entertaining? Man, this guy is so unfunny. It just seems really strange that it seems like in order to get hyped for the new thing they're excited for, they spend the majority of their time talking about the thing they hate. It almost feels like they're more excited to be bashing the Snyder fanboys than the movie itself. It's kind of funny in a sad way, really. I mean, when I'm excited about something, I don't usually spend too much time thinking about something that I hate. Oh, and just like the Snyder extremists, they have memes and such that they like to spam in comment sections, and they kind of make me chuckle. But again, these are usually under a casual post about the movie, or a post that has some mild criticism about it. They'll just drop this whether Snyder was mentioned or not. I mean, if they're in an argument with an open Snyder fanboy who's just as toxic as they are, then hey, I say go for it. But that's not always the case. By the way, all these posts that you're seeing, all these comments and arguments and such, are just from Instagram and Threads. Twitter is far worse. It's basically this, but cranked up to 11. And I refuse to get back on that website for my own sanity's sake, but I was able to look around and find some posts. And yeah, it's just as deranged as you probably expect. It's just more of the same stuff we've already seen. Bashing Snyder, bashing the fans, finding any opportunity to bring him up. You get the gist of this point. And the SnyderVerse side of it is honestly no different. It's just as angry and just as toxic. And it appears that some people are actually trying to get like a campaign going to boycott the movie or something. Except this one's like actually legit, I think. But yeah, Twitter's a cesspool like usual. Though probably the worst and most fucked up one I found was this one right here. Yeah, this is about fictional characters and movies. We should just calm down.
Fictional characters. Fictional characters.
Now I want to touch something that's a bit more controversial and a bit tricky, but I've seen several people bring it up, so I figure it's worth mentioning. And that's people posing as Snyder fanboys just to say wild shit. This one's a bit tricky, only because it's pretty hard to actually prove it. But it's been a trend amongst niche weirdos to make fake accounts and pretend to be a Snyder fan and just say and post cringy shit. This isn't just from Gunn fans, by the way. This goes back years, as far back as like 2022. On Twitter, for example, there's a guy called the Snyder Cult. He hung around for a little while. But this past year has become more prevalent. And it really shows up more on the Snyder Cut subreddit. You'll find some suspiciously new accounts that spam the same thing over and over again in different subs. And there's actually posts within the Snyder Cut subreddit over the past couple years addressing this very issue. Hell, even that subreddit dedicated to making fun of Snyder fans knowingly post things from fake Snyder fan accounts, just because it's pretty absurd. Now, what makes this hard to decipher from the fake and real Snyder fans is that there are many unhinged Snyder fans that do the same thing, and even though they're looked down upon and downvoted, they still post pretty frequently in the sub. So it's really hard to tell which ones are real and which ones are fake, especially with this whole while it's closed, a 7-Eleven thing that I've been seeing around, which is another campaign to boycott the new movie. So it's hard to tell what's real anymore, since the real extremists post shit that's not far off from the fake ones. Like that boycott post that was taken down by the Snyder Cut mods, the one that made headlines because James Gunn responded to it. Apparently that guy was a well-known troll and was literally just there to start controversy and stir shit up. And then once he was outed, that's when he deleted his account. But yet to this day, there are still so many posts that are almost just as toxic, or hell, even on the same level, but they get to stay up. So it just kind of creates confusion amongst people, because you can't tell what's real and what's fake anymore. So does this happen? Yes. How many accounts are fake? I really don't know, since it all blends together. Is it all stupid and a waste of time? Yes, very.
Shut up! Oh my god, I don't care!
It's crazy how this movie has divided people online, and the amount of fighting between these two groups is honestly pretty astonishing. It's what we call unemployed activities, just online shit-flinging for the sake of it. And I'm not the only one noticing this. Several other people have already posted about it, and just saying how absurd this is on both sides, honestly. And regular people who are excited about the new Superman movie are tired of 1. Snyder extremists raiding the post, and 2. Gunn extremists bombarding the post with so many unnecessary mentions and jabs at Snyder and his fans, as well as Henry Cavill. It's all just so tiresome at this point. It's almost to the point of like the split Star Wars fandom, where there's the original trilogy fans, the prequel trilogy fans, and the sequel trilogy fans, and not everyone can agree on everything. They all like the same thing, just different versions of it. That's basically what's happening here, but somehow far more petty. I'm actually curious to know how each side's fanatics feel knowing that Gunn and Snyder are actually pretty cool with each other in real life, and have been for a pretty long time. Besides both being part of the Dawn of the Dead remake, while working on Superman, Gunn actually asked Snyder for some advice. And even before then, when promoting Brightburn, Gunn praised Man of Steel. And as I record this, there's a bit from Rick and Morty that just released, where they both play themselves. As many people are pointing out, it's kind of funny that the fandoms seem to be warring against each other, but the actual people are pretty chill. I mean, hell, even in the comments of this post pointing that out, there are people just proving its point.
Dense motherfucker!
This is almost like when people bashed Godzilla x Kong New Empire, saying that -1 was so much better. But the two directors actually met and had a conversation, and have a deep respect for each other's films. So it's kind of like that, but worse. And I want to stress again that this type of behavior comes from the most extreme fans. The ones that are mostly chronically online, who just want to argue and have nothing better to do. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, nothing wrong with comparisons, but it seems these people just bring up Snyder, Henry Cavill, and the SnyderVerse fans in general, as a way to prop up their movie and then bash the Snyder fans. And then there's the opposite end of the spectrum, where the Snyder Cultists do honestly the same exact thing. But instead they talk about how much better Snyder is, and how James Gunn sucks. So in any given post, you'll more likely see either end of the spectrum. And it makes most online discourse about this movie just kind of a drag. And since the people who participate in this shit are chronically online, I'll just put this in Reddit speech. Everyone sucks here.
What a bunch of fucking losers.
But yeah, I think that'll about do it. In short, there are a number of James Gunn extremists just as toxic as the Snyder Cultists they make fun of. And I would say things are going to calm down, but with the movie finally coming out, I really doubt that's going to happen. For those of you who want to see the movie, go ahead and see it. For those of you who don't. Oh, well, I don't got shit else to say, so see ya.
If Zack Snyder doesn't January 6th Warner Brothers, cinema is dead forever.
I am not gay! I am straight! I like women